I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:06 p.m. on September 13th, 2017. I'm going to do a roll call real quick.
Laura Gandia present.
Rick Riley present.
John Regan present.
Greg Lapine here.
All right. I would like to appoint Greg Lapine to the board this evening. He is an alternate, but he will be sitting in for John Devereaux. And I'm expecting a fifth person to show up here. Who's the applicant anyways?
Which ones?
For case number 2017-2. Okay. All right. Yeah, 3 and 4 basically. So are you familiar with zoning boards? Normally we have 5 persons.
Yeah.
I don't have 5 right now, and I'm expecting one. We can give him a few more minutes. If I get started, that means he can't sit, right?
Yeah. If they start presenting, then
Not for that case.
yeah.
Yeah, he can't sit for that particular case.
Right.
And you know the numbers game, right? You know, better to have 5 than 4 persons when you're trying to get a majority of 3.
Do you intend to hear each of our cases separately? So if we hear the first part of our 3 requests, and then the next person comes, will she be able to, or he be able to sit for the next?
Because this was put down as one case, I mean, we have to go through all 3 specific variances, but it's one case. So once we get started, I don't think he'll be able to join into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Both Al Gilbo was supposed to show up as well as Eric Cushing. Both supposed to show up because Eric was going to take his slot.
Yeah, because they have to recuse themselves on the second.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're happy to go second. If you want the other case to go first.
The other case is
More cut dry.
very cut and dry. Okay, it goes back to prior to God. Okay.
Might be.
Do you have to recuse yourself just because you're leaving?
No.
Because you have conflict? Okay. That wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work.
Well, you would have 3.
Well, that's 3. I don't think you want to, well, Laura has to excuse herself from your case, both of them, because
I have a conflict.
conflict of interest. So that would only leave you 3 persons for that one.
No, for
Unanimous.
your
Right.
case. So you'd have to get 3 out of 3 votes in the affirmative.
I was pretty clear that I was expecting everybody to show up on time, so at this point, I can't. Yeah, I'll wait as long as it takes.
Well, I gotta go home sometime.
Hey, we used to run past midnight in
I
the
know,
old
but I
days.
won't do that anymore. I'm older.
Okay, all right.
Come grab
Let's give him a few more minutes and see what happens.
I don't have his number, do you?
I need to.
I'd have to try to open up Outlook and see if I've got him in the contacts.
In your phone, I call him.
I used to have one with all the phone contacts. I might have to go into the ZBA folder.
I have an hour commute.
Pardon me?
To wake up.
I have an hour.
He's asking us how come we wake up so early. I'm trying to tell him when you got somebody's life in your hands, you want us awake.
Oh, really?
Alan and
Al Gilbo's supposed to be here.
who else?
Eric Cushing. Is there? One that's always, yeah, Tom Cooney's the one that works for the state.
Right.
So it's supposed to be
Al's
Eric.
not here.
But open up the folder, see if I've got ZBA members and contacts in
This
there.
is the second case. This is the Optimum
ZBA.
Road.
Who was asking? Was somebody asking me? No.
I have to
Do you
change
have
by
any
September.
ZBA members and contacts?
Mass.
Mouse is so slow. CBA members term.
Because everybody in the
See if I got anything here.
I know, but I think at 129 this
It's pissing me off, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It really does. Try so friggin' hard to make this thing work.
wouldn't be, there's a members term spreadsheet, would that be?
I don't think so. I think that just had the years in it.
Oh, we're waiting, okay. All right, see you in a bit.
See
Looks like he's coming.
Eric's coming. We'll do something quick. Whatever that is.
He's the one.
You got my text, right?
He's the one who complained that I kicked him off as a full member. No,
You didn't get my text?
no, my phone's been out of commission for a couple months. I'm dragging my feet because I don't want to spend the damn money.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, what's the new iPhone?
Yeah, look at this. Try because I was just as soon have Val on this thing. Eric's way out of practice.
Change that number to me.
Valley on when I don't have one here? Figures.
Eric Cushing was 42911. Just make sure you get the same one. Or 3965331.
3965331.
My brother says
They want to do it next spring too.
Erickson?
Yeah, it's Kyle Erickson.
Who is he? Come on.
Was he a pain?
Dave LaFee's not even here anymore.
Oh, yeah!
What? Come on, do I have?
That's right.
Cecil Williams. Cecil DeRocha. I don't have any of these people anymore. Owen's long gone. This one's gone. Andy, I don't know why I got Andy in there. Yeah, right.
Patrick was
I think I inherited this list from Greg way back when.
Yeah, that looks like my writing. Tom couldn't come?
Tom,
Cooney?
no, he didn't even reply. Most of these people don't reply. I'm really surprised that Eric even replied. Because he never does. And usually Al never replies either. I'm tired of calling people's houses, to tell you the truth. I'm just gonna kick them off the board and find some new people.
Well, you should be doing that anyway. Right? Not you, but we should be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
There's no one interested in doing it. You gotta be roped in. You gotta be pleaded to do with this, right?
I guess. I mean, it's not that heavy of a load anymore.
No one wants to do this.
Oh, yeah, yes.
You understood?
We do have another member that's on their way. We have another member that's on their way, so, I mean, he doesn't live far.
The traffic has been hell up.
Hideous.
Yeah, exactly.
Albuquerque? Oh, backed up.
Got a speed trap out there, too.
No, he's only coming from up the street on Albuquerque.
After his errand, yeah.
Between wild deer, turkeys, and other things, that can still be a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't do Route 3A, they did it in patches, but they're doing the whole thing of one.
I gotta figure out what case that's associated with. I gotta figure out what case that's associated with.
I wouldn't kid you, it'd be dangerous.
I'm a very nice human being.
I know you are. I
wonder if,
My vice moderator would be interested
I bet Giselle would be interested, but we'd lose our secretary
He
then.
likes to participate in these things. There's no heavy lifting involved.
That's true, yeah.
It's all talking, thinking.
He's assistant.
Yeah,
He's not official.
Exactly. He's my assistant. And he helps Shirley.
You have an assistant? Aren't you an individual contributor?
The moderator.
Oh,
He's very old. He's He's older than Greg.
Oh my God, that's really old.
And, but he likes to participate, he just can't, he doesn't want to overcommit, nothing physical,
I think we could use it.
He's a good judge, he's not gonna act.
Yeah.
So,
Well, anybody with that kind of experience.
He was on his ZBA, 60 years ago.
probably.
Things have changed.
All right, let's see if I can figure out where these belong. Whitney Realty Trust.
It's a good opportunity to ask people to participate in the CBA.
Ask them.
I have another appointment, so,
How come I can't find Whitney Realty Trust? What am I missing?
state that I have no problem with this variance, and then, be on my way.
That's fine, yeah.
This is
They
the,
spoke with
This is-
Eric. Eric's supposed to be on his way.
yeah, this gentleman has to leave, but he wants to express the fact that he wants to log the fact that he has no issue with
Do you have anything in writing?
27 and
No.
12-12. Anything?
I don't have anything running, I could
Okay.
scribble
something
something
quick?
down for you.
No, that's all right.
Just make a note, what's your name, sir?
Ralph Howe Jr.,
Address?
31B Page Road. The letter was sent to 318 Page Road, and it took me a little while to get hold of it.
I'm sorry, what was the last name, sir? Ralph?
Howe, H-O-W-E.
And you have no issue with 2017-2, which is this case with, on 60 Colby Road?
Not on Colby.
This is one on Page.
Oh, okay.
The one on Louise
Louise
Drive.
Drive.
Louise Drive, yeah.
Which would be 2017-3? Is that what we're doing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, this is the one that he's
Oh.
here for.
There's a whole bunch of them.
I can't keep track of these.
So Royal and Dale Aria, yeah, that would be 2017-03.
Okay.
That's Mr. Hess.
I know him about.
No
Is this supposed to come to me?
issue. You can someone to sign that? You're good.
Thank you.
We'll count your vote as a no issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Good luck.
Yep, please.
Does anyone want to be
Greg
a
spoke to him.
regular ZBA member, by chance?
Not tonight, but in the
Not tonight,
future.
but in the future?
Well, Kevin used to be. Why don't we
We're
put
looking
him
for
on here?
volunteers.
I can't, I'll be on there now.
We, because Kevin is doing such a great job, we very infrequently meet.
You could just
Maybe
excuse
once
yourself from
3 or
every
4
case.
months.
We finally got rid of the wetland stuff. I don't know how many cases we went with special acceptance for wetland. That's all it was. Yes, we know it's wet.
I take that as a no.
Well, that's fun.
I think we'll make that a requirement from now on, where the applicant has to serve 6 months.
Yeah.
Can you do it after this meeting?
Yeah, seriously. We just gotta write that into the bylaws.
Yeah, yeah. Applicants must agree to serve
Serve.
in some way, shape, or form.
6 cases, not months.
6 cases, that could be 6 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we had to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
There he is.
Oh, here he is.
Golf clap.
All right. Eric Cushing, present. I would like to appoint Eric Cushing to the board as well for this evening. We now have 5 members, so you may proceed if you would like.
Do you want me to read the case into the record?
Oh, yeah, please. We're gonna read that. You got it?
Nope, you have the folder.
I do.
All right. This is case number 2017-02. Applicant is Thoreau Properties LLC, 16 Colby Road, Litchfield, New Hampshire. The location of the property is 16 Colby Road, Litchfield, New Hampshire, map 20, lot 29. Description of the property is that it is 44,539 square feet, currently used for residential and warehouse. This is an application for a variance from section 801.00 of the zoning ordinance to permit a non-permitted use of a warehouse. And there's other ones, all right?
Yes.
This one, right?
Yep.
And
That's gonna be
for the
two.
same owner and applicant in the same property, we have another request for a variance to section 802.01 regarding setbacks. All buildings shall be set back 50 feet from the public right-of-way. And then we have a third request for a variance for the same applicant in the same property description and address, which is an application for a variance from section 802.01 for side setbacks. All buildings shall be set back equal to or exceeding the height of the building. So there are 3 variance requests for this particular application.
That is correct. Okay.
All right. You're up.
All right, do we want to do these one at a time, or are we doing all 3 at once, or what is the board's preference on that?
I think my preference would be just a general description of the area and the property, and then take one variance at a time.
Okay, all right.
An overview. Start with an overview.
Okay, so what's there now is an existing warehouse storage building on the site now, and then there's a residential 3-unit building that's there now. It is adjacent to Optimum, and Optimum Building Solution uses this to store their materials in now. So they're looking to remove the existing residential building and build another storage building on it. That's the brief overview. We were before the zoning board in 2014. We got the allowed use for the older building in 2014. So as far as the use is concerned, we're asking for the same thing. We are in demand of warehouse space, so we are asking for a little bit bigger building. And because of the size and shape of the lot, we have an encroachment on the front yard setback of 18.9 feet, where, 40 feet is required? 30 feet is required. I believe we didn't ask for this, I think it was an oversight last time, but this building is 35 feet tall, and the building setbacks are 20 feet from the side yard, and then there is that clause in at least the height of the building. So we wanted to make sure it to be all-inclusive, so we included that in our variance for this as well. This building is going to be shorter than the existing building, but it's probably going to be at least 25 feet tall, so no matter what, we are going to need a variance for the side yard setback as well. And the idea here is that Optimum is over here. Use and access to the building is going to be from this lot. There is going to be no access from Colby Road currently. Colby Road is pretty much a lot of industrial business. Tim's Turf is across the street. There's other warehouses, buildings down here, and there's the restaurant further down. And as you can see, other existing buildings are within that required setback from the front yard as well.
Meaning they
So that's
encroach, are you saying they already
encroach.
encroach?
They all encroach.
Pre-existing.
Yeah.
It's not like we're doing anything now, so. I guess that's the overview. If anybody has questions on the overview.
I do. I don't know if you could answer, just trying to get a better, refreshing my memory of the 2014 case. Do you remember that? So that was for the same thing that he's asking for tonight?
Basically, yep.
So that was granted for a change for non-permitted use?
Allow a storage use there. This is the same thing as the storage use.
So it's the second building, but he already has that same use
Correct.
on the property,
On that, no, for that building.
on that parcel.
He's tearing down the 3-unit or house there, and he wants to put this storage building in that space.
Although it's gonna be bigger than that existing space, I believe.
What's that?
It's gonna be bigger than the existing space.
Yes, it is.
Larger than the existing footprint.
Yep.
So what's the footprint of the proposed warehouse?
Proposed warehouse is 80 by 100. So we tried to match. We kinked the building to try and pull this edge as far back as we could. You can see we are skewed from the existing building that's there now. We're making it a lot better on the side yard setback. I think it's a 1.5 right now, and we will meet the 20-foot setback for it. But again, the building height is going to be higher than 25, so we're asking for a variance.
Oh, I thought you were looking for the variance on the existing one, not the new one, or is it both?
No,
On the
Oh.
new one.
Okay.
This one's all set.
And what's the proposed height of the new one?
No, I thought he said the existing one wasn't.
we're gonna say it's 35 feet, but it'll probably be lower than that, but
Okay.
we don't wanna come back.
And the height of the existing structure, right now?
Back.
No, the one that you're tearing down,
Oh, the house?
the house,
That's 33.
33?
Yeah, it's 2.5 story. Okay, and it goes up, it's got a high peak roof on it. It's a 2-story pop.
Yeah,
So the heights will be essentially the
No
same?
different than an average house. Your average house is 35 feet, and they're 20 feet from the line. This little section where you gotta be the building height away from the line, I don't know, that's not getting somewhere. I never saw it till the first time, to be honest with you.
yeah, okay.
We all saw it like that, yeah. It's a little blip underneath something, it's not in the section, you know?
And so currently, I guess the residents do park out in front right now. And once again, I guess that'll be eliminated. There's obviously plenty of snow storage, site distance is not an issue.
So there will not be any parking on Colby Road?
There'll be no parking on Colby Road, no parking in this area.
And where is the entrance to, where will the entrance be?
They'll be right here. Go around this building, and they will access it. There's gonna be an overhead door here, and I believe that the buildings will have, go between the buildings.
To be one entrance and exit way at that point of the building right there?
That, yeah, be one large overhead door.
That's it.
And a man door,
Okay.
and then we're
Looks like the
proposing
same
a
thing,
man door
just
on
bigger.
this side for access and security around the building.
We can't see that far.
Yeah, yeah. I hear it.
So there's the old house,
I
I get, there's the old house is lower left of the new building, right? The shaded area is the old house.
The shaded area is the
Yeah.
old house, yep, that is
All right,
exactly.
there's an overhead door here that he's talking about.
Yep, and then that little man
Yeah.
door
And this
here.
is, so this is the one area of variance, the other area of variance is up and down, it's height.
Height.
That's right.
Where's the third one?
The use.
Oh, yeah, fine, okay.
Use.
Which was already kinda covered
So
here.
this is front,
Right.
this is side.
Got it.
Okay.
So where is the access from the road to all of this complex?
There is, it will be, Colby, there's access to here, cars go in
There is
between
none.
here, cars also go on this side, or vehicles
Yeah.
go on this side. There are other buildings, other additions to this building that's not shown.
Yeah.
But that's, the cars go this, and right now they go around, there's parking here, septic system is here, but the cars go like this to load and unload.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you see this? Can I see?
So the business next door is in the two of these things are different, right? They're different businesses?
No, now it's gonna be the same. So it was just a residential apartment building, but it was owned by these gentlemen.
Okay.
So now business is growing. They said, hey, there's a lot of space on this lot that we're not utilizing. Why don't we build a warehouse on it? That was 4 years ago. We built the warehouse on it, and now they're thinking again, why do we own this residential building? We can do better with a warehouse in this area.
We can go through all the criteria for each individual one.
I think we should vote each one after he does it.
All right,
Okay.
keep going.
All right, so let's talk about permitted uses. So we are in the Northern Commercial District. Permitted uses include establishment offering goods for sale, including dry foods, goods, hardware, clothing, apparel, and other general retail. But it doesn't say warehouse or storage. It's not stated, so therefore we need a variance. So that's exactly what there's gonna be, it's just dry goods, building materials that are gonna be stored in this building. For the use of the abutting building. It's not like people come and go, it's just for their use to store stuff. They take it out on site for construction purposes. Just as was approved by that one, it's gonna be the same type of deal. So that's the situation. So we're requesting a variance from section 801 of the zoning ordinance, which does not allow warehouse. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest because the warehouse will be for non-hazardous storage of building materials. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the warehouse will be in support of the existing business. This was granted also a variance 4 years ago, and I assume that the town has had no problem with the previous building. Allowing the substantial justice is done because allowing the warehouse will allow for the growth of the company in Litchfield. The warehouse is needed to enhance the business. They need it for business purposes, to help their business grow. The values surrounding the property will not be diminished. The values surrounding properties are not diminished because this is a new building similar to the existing warehouse on the lot. There has been no problems with that, and this is the same project. Literal enforcements of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship because the ordinance does not allow for a reasonable use such as this. This will be well-planned use that will not be detrimental to the town. It's an enhancement to an existing business that's there. It's a supplement to that business. It has been allowed before, and we would request the same thing this time. So that's my presentation for the permitted use.
All right, if I could just stop you right there. Laura's suggesting, and I would agree with that, we could potentially just vote on each one of these as he's presenting them. So if you guys are okay with that, I would at this point ask for public input on the permitted use. Once we've gotten through that, close public input, vote on that, move on.
Sure. Yeah.
You okay with that?
She's good at this.
You okay with that?
Yes, I am.
All right, so,
Before we do that, did you just state your name and address for the record?
Oh, sure. My name is Tobin Farwell from Farwell Engineering. My number is area code 603-292-5787.
thank you.
I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah.
So do we have any public input on the request for not permitted use, which, as he explained, is a warehouse? Any input from the public on that? In favor, against? Having heard no public input?
Are there any publics out there that are concerned with this case?
No.
They're all with the other case.
All the other.
That makes it easier.
Okay,
Then I will make a motion to close public input.
all right, I have a motion. Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, public input's closed. Anybody have any questions on this or any thoughts?
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance to section 89 for permitted use.
To allow the warehouse
The structure of the warehouse.
The structure
As
of the
As-
warehouse.
as outlined in
As
front,
presented. Yeah.
as presented. We have a motion,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0?
All right, so the use portion of your request has been approved 5-0.
Okay.
Now let's move on.
Let's move on to the side yard setback. As we would like to match with the previous building and adhere to the 20-foot sideline setback, irregardless of the height of the building. We will maintain that 20-foot setback. And I would say that we're making it more conforming. The existing residential building is within 2 feet of the property line. So by removing that building and constructing our building, we're going to make it more nearly conforming. And this is a variance request from section 310 of the zoning ordinance, setbacks, or 300.
Correct. Well, it starts at like,
300, D is it? Northern commercial. Side setback, all buildings shall be set back equal to or exceeding the height of the building. For simplicity, we are requesting for a 35-foot height maximum, and staying 20 feet from the property line. The height of the warehouse will match the other buildings. It's certainly, optimum is 35 feet as well.
Much higher than that, it's 45 feet, the main building.
The building is today.
Yeah,
That's right.
like the old
Next door, you
barn,
mean?
up to 45 feet.
And certainly will match the existing building that was permitted earlier. This is a commercial area with similar height buildings. This will fit in with the surrounding area. Allowing the substantial justice is done because allowing the height of this building, this area will be similar to the existing building. This will allow a reasonable size building. The values of surrounding properties are not diminished because this is a new building similar to the existing warehouse on the lot. therefore no diminished values will occur. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. There is limited buildable area. Strict adherence would limit the building even further. We wouldn't be able to get the height and utilize it as is necessary for the business. That's the completion of my presentation.
So remind me again, the existing warehouse structure, that you're saying is already higher than 35?
Yep.
It is.
No.
But at the time that use was granted, there was a different requirement on the side setbacks, I believe.
I believe, but the main building itself, it's all like, this is a separate lot of record, and that's why we're dealing with this. It was married into the whole thing. We probably won't be talking like this, but there's a little section in the zoning where I never saw, I'll be honest with you, I never saw. And that's why it's there today, because it says, the height of the building in a commercial zone can't, whatever the height is, could be that distance from the front to the side line. I never heard that before in my life, never. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I read the zoning a lot, and I didn't see this.
It's a little
It
footnote.
was noted in the 2014 decision
Yeah.
as a stipulation.
952.04, but I don't have the old
Building
ones.
height must be consistent with restrictions noted in LZO
Yeah,
952.
and his distance there is 30 feet, he's not very high. So I just went, but I saw that, I said, let's get it, let's go.
I don't even remember discussing that.
I don't remember talking about it myself that
The
time.
20 feet was the key.
Because I would have caught it if I thought about it.
But I'm thinking, you're right now asking for the side setback, right?
Correct,
Not the
he's talking
building
about
height.
Yeah.
Well, and the side setback is determined, that's
Wait, because the
the.
third one
The
is the
height of the
building
building.
height.
No,
Right.
I know, he jumped over to the side setback as,
But I
which
don't
is,
think we should grant, we shouldn't hear this one first. We should see what we grant for the height.
well,
Right.
okay,
Height is
no,
based
no,
on
no,
the
no.
side.
Height is, the side setback is based by the height, which
I
is
know,
why
but-
we're talking about height.
Wait, what's this third?
The front setback
Oh, the
is
front.
the other one.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
And it is out of order. Normally, when I presented it in the public notice,
Yeah, that's fine.
front was first, then side was next, but that's all right, I think we're good with that. So you have to refer to 300,
Right, I got that.
yeah.
So that building's gonna be how many feet from the side setback? The
20.
20.
And if he's looking to go 35 feet, then he'd be encroaching 15 feet
15
in,
feet, right.
right?
So the variance would be to allow a 15-foot
15 foot, correct,
encroachment.
exactly.
I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think
35 building height is.
what you said, but
The 35 building height is.
I don't want to nail it down.
Variance, he can have 35 building height in here.
I want to get it once and for all
Right.
and write it down,
Okay.
okay? How high is the building?
Let's say 35 feet.
35, and how far setback are you planning to be off
20.
the road? 20 feet.
From the side.
So,
On the side setback.
From the
okay, so
side, yeah, did he say
Where
front?
you would need 35.
Right, so he's seeking an
That's right.
encroachment of
Okay,
15
gotcha.
feet.
So you're looking for a 15-foot variance, given a 35-foot planned height and an
Yes.
an available 20 feet.
The 35-foot requirement down to a 20-foot.
Got it.
so that's the line that runs between the two.
That's from this line.
Property
At
line.
this point, it gets better as we go towards
Yeah.
Colby Road, but.
So it's a lot line that we're talking about here, not the road. not
And
the-
it's his
That's
property
right,
already.
Sideline setback
Got it.
from him.
And it's already his property.
Just to note for the record, I know the two separate lots of records, so two separate owners? Is that?
Same owner.
So it's the same owner, you just never merged them?
Nope.
And you don't have any intent on merging them?
Nope.
Question, the building on the left, what's the setback of that building, have any idea?
It looks to be slightly less, it's about 20 feet.
Okay. So you're
It looks to
running,
be slightly less than 20.
and you're running the same issue, because that building's probably 35 or something high, right?
Right, but it's an existing
We're not
building.
here for
No, I
that.
know,
yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I know, I
But
know.
you're right, it would match.
That space right
It
there.
matches.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's it would become equidistant between the two properties.
So
with the lot
totally you
line right
have
in the
like
middle.
40 feet.
That's right. Pretty close.
It'll be better than what's there now.
It would look better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because of the house, yeah.
Okay.
All of this for section 300 is new. I came up with the new stuff, so
I
it's a
get
little
what they're
more
doing.
confusing now, I think.
Yeah, they moved it. I don't know why they moved it out of the northern commercial section, but they did.
That's why the planning board's here tonight, help the future.
Okay, so you've presented everything. Any more questions on the presentation? Eric?
No.
Nothing? Do we have any public input on the request for a variance to the side setback requirements, which requires 20 foot, and they're looking for a variance of 15 foot based on the proposed height?
Why is Tim's not here?
No public
Yeah.
input?
I'll make a motion to close for public input.
I have a motion, seconded?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public input closed. Do we have any comments, questions, concerns?
I like the fact that at the end of the day, it'll look better than it does today with respect
Oh,
to separating the two buildings.
Yeah, it'll give it some space.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a variance to section 300.D to allow a 15-foot encroachment into the side setback where 35 would be required.
We have a motion. Do we have seconded?
I'll second that.
All right, we have seconded. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Just be advised, though, that doesn't mean you can't go over 35 foot without coming back and,
Absolutely, 35 is the height, we'd need a height variance as well, so.
oh, that is the, okay.
We're not going over that, I
The
guarantee.
motion was 35 feet
Okay.
too, so.
Yep.
Okay, so now the final one is the front yard setback. Because of the nature of this parcel, the skewed angle, curvature of the road, we are encroaching on this. We will well meet the setback on this corner. We're encroaching to 18.9 feet on this side. The road is not even centered on the right-of-way. Certainly Tim's turf is a lot closer. This is in the same avenue as what we're proposing. There's plenty of snow storage for the road. Because we're also not proposing no access from Colby Road, so safety, life safety concerns are addressed. Site distance, I lost my train of thought. What else am I gonna? So because of that, we'd like to encroach no closer than 18. We'll call it 18 feet, 18.9 if you want to be exact. We're happy with that number. Into the front setback where 30 feet is required. This is a variance from 310 of the zoning ordinance. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest because the proposed warehouse is on the inside of a curved right-of-way. The proposed building will align with the other buildings. There is room for snow storage and site distance, all the things that I mentioned. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the warehouse will align with the other buildings. I believe that this is to make it pleasing to the eye to align the buildings, and that's what we're proposing to do. Substantial justice is done because allowing the warehouse will allow for the growth of the company in Litchfield. Often the warehouse is needed to enhance the business. This is a new build. The values of surrounding properties are not diminished because, again, this is a new building similar to the existing warehouse on the lot. Literal enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. In order to comply with the zoning requirements, we could not build as big a building as needed, and which fits well in with the surrounding properties on this property, building in here. This is an unreasonable expectation to not allow this use on the property. The geometry of the lot makes it difficult to construct a reasonable sized building for this. And that concludes my presentation for that.
I thought it was a 50-foot setback, not 30, for the front.
Yes.
Front yard setback is 50,
Right, is that, so 50, not 30,
not 30.
right.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're seeking,
That's right, that's
so
right.
it's not 30.
50 is shown, that's what 50 is shown in this plan, so this corner is 50 feet away, and that one's 18.9.
18.9, so the variance would be for
18.9 minus
31.1
50.
or something?
Let's go with
31.1
Don't split.
31.1, yes.
Jeez.
or 30. He went 18.9.
I'm sorry, so
Nearest, I like the nearest
you
foot
need
too.
50, the building's gonna end up being what, away from the road?
18.9.
Away from the road.
That's right.
He's seeking a
Call it
30,
19.
a
You're
30
encroaching
31.
31.1
feet.
You'd have to call
Gotcha.
it 18 and a half.
So it's 31 feet, 31 and change, where 50 feet are required.
Right, yes.
Otherwise, it's gonna come.
And that's the greatest encroachment. It encroaches going along the whole way because the road is curved.
That's right, so you have to state the greatest
Right,
encroachment.
right.
What is
Why didn't you put a kitty corner on that side?
Cost, usability, if you put a kitty corner, you can't,
You lose that square footage.
it comes in pallets.
Okay, good point.
Can't,
Everything in this world is square, isn't it?
That's right.
square, that's why containers are all
Yeah.
containers.
They don't make square, I mean, kitty corner pallets. So it is 50 feet, not 30.
It's 50.
Yeah, my bad on that.
Yeah,
I was thinking of something else on the other thing too, there's 30, but it's there's the northern commercial, industrial northern commercial.
Correct.
There's 30 in them.
yeah.
You could be 30 foot in other words in town.
But he's not in the northern commercial industrial. is he?
102 you could be.
It
Ah,
says that industrial right
Yeah.
there.
He's just in the
My
northern
bad.
commercial.
northern commercial.
Northern commercial's 50.
Right. You're right.
Charged.
Same notes
It's
apply.
not the commercial
Yeah.
industrial, that's not the commercial industrial zone. it's the
Page
commercial.
5.
Yep.
Okay. Any more questions for the applicant on presentation for the front setback?
I have one.
Okay.
Any landscaping proposed in the front of that building on the roadway?
Nice
Not
palm
to-
trees.
We are not now, but, or, do you have any thoughts, Renee?
Landscaping
Landscaping in that triangle area? Or,
right here?
Yes,
Or is it
anywhere.
gonna be the gravel to push the snow,
So that's gonna be a snow storage area?
yeah, in the winter time.
Is it a
But
brick
he's
wall
got
or
cars
is it a
that
glass
drive
wall?
right
Now.
Gravel, it's gravel now.
Is it a brick sidewall or is it a glass sidewall or what's
There
the?
is,
metal? Oh, for
No.
the new building?
Yeah.
Metal.
Metal.
Cars drive between those buildings today.
No, I'm talking about Colby Road.
Just in front. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
because that's
Just leave it
big.
gravel.
Yeah.
It's so close to the road.
But you get a good deal from the guy across the street.
Probably, it is
sorry?
grass.
Get a good deal from the guy across the street.
Yeah.
You think so?
I
mean, I
That's
could.
too. That's where the
Yeah.
biggest safety risk is on the front.
I was just gonna leave it gravel.
Right, I think beyond this corner, I mean, this is all gonna be grass, certainly on this side.
I think what's gonna happen is, like we did here, we have to have 12 feet around for the fire department in case they have to go around. So most likely I'll do the same thing here, because they're gonna wanna be able, in case they have to, they're gonna wanna go around. So I'll probably have to have like a 12-foot gravel around, like we did on this one here.
But do you know, is the fire department gonna require 12 feet all the way around in front of
Probably.
Colby? So they're gonna have
That's
to
what they
loop,
did for that one.
I'm assuming they will here.
yeah, but no, down by Colby Road with the 18.9? Are they gonna require access through there?
That's why I'm gonna leave that all that gravel.
Yeah, they do have to get access all the
the
way
access-
around the building.
Right.
So
Right,
the
I
access
know.
is the road.
Yes.
But
They
that's,
don't wanna be that close to a building, but that's the.
Well,
Right, so it's a technical thing.
right now you got a curb there, one of those,
Granite curb.
granite curb, right?
Yeah.
That's just gonna stay the same, right?
That's just gonna stay the same.
so Kevin,
So
my,
it's not like something you would normally drive up
Planning board would
into,
get into
it would just be for fire department to
What's that?
access.
Planning board would get into landscape.
right, I know they would, but my
Right.
concern is for, I mean, I know it's planning board approval too, but, the fire department needs 12 feet to get around that front of the building on the Colby Road side.
The road counts for that. The road count.
The road will count for that.
Road will count, yeah, you're so close.
Okay, so as a member of the planning board, do you have any concerns with the granting of that variance? You don't, none?
Should he state his name?
Yes.
Tom Young, planning board chair.
Thank you. Just curiosity, did you try laying that warehouse sideways as opposed to?
Well,
what
but
I'm
then
saying?
we'd be encroaching upon, we have to be 75 feet from the Colby Brook.
Okay, that's why I asked.
We'd,
So there was an impact to the setback for Colby Brook
That's right.
if it was
And we-
turned that way.
rather go for the front yard setback than Colby Brook setback, Conservation Commission, all that.
Colby Brook abutting your property would make your property unique.
Sure would. I like how you think.
She's been on the other side a couple of times.
Yeah, you can't even turn it just a little bit really, because then he starts hitting the building behind it,
No, he couldn't do anything with
Yeah.
it, except for make it smaller,
Can't be square.
except making it smaller, exactly.
but that's not when it is
Okay.
in front of it, so.
I know. Okay, any more questions for the applicant? All right, I'll ask for public input on the request for a variance to the front setback. Having none, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If we were to make a motion on this, we need to be clear on whether we're rounding up or down on, well, you'd have to round, we need to be safe, unless you want to be precise.
I like a little wiggle room.
For 32.
How about making a stipulation within a foot of the plan?
I would appreciate that.
Yeah?
Or, like you
Okay,
said,
the numbers,
32,
I'd rather just do
Yeah,
a number, 32.
32.
It's 31.1, if you went up to 32.
32, yeah.
And it-
Close enough to a foot.
Okay.
And
But yeah, but then, okay, that's fine, that's fine.
The foundation could be off by an inch when they go to pour it.
But he can,
That's my point. So
Well-
if you state the plan 32, within a foot either way of 32,
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
it's
want a
31.1.
foundation cert before,
well then make it
I have to get that.
30, within a foot of
Okay.
31.1, either way.
I'll get that before.
they can always come back for that other
throw it
thing
to
we
him.
had that-
I'm missing it, I'll take a motion.
Measure
well, no,
it.
I'm not ready for a motion.
Okay, what else you got?
Conditions or restrictions for the front. I wouldn't want any parking in the front of the building, and no access onto
Colby Road,
Colby Road except for fire or emergency
put
vehicles.
those on the stipulations.
Right.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
So,
Got it?
I got that stipulation. What about the,
No parking
the
No
parking
parking or access.
or access?
or access.
onto Colby Road.
To or from Colby Road.
You may be
To
specific.
from Colby, except for
Parking on
emergency
to
To the front
vehicles.
of the
side.
building,
It actually makes it better.
What's that?
This use is gonna make it better.
yeah, because people park there today. Do we have his written responses? I didn't even.
We do.
We have his. We have a copy of what you've been reading to us, right?
Yes, that was the
Good.
application.
They'll be on each of the ones then.
Yeah, he does have some.
I'll use those to just stare and compare once you put a draft together, if you're gonna do that. Otherwise, I'll take the notes.
Yeah, right. There's no way you're gonna read these.
Okay, I'm ready to entertain a motion if anybody's got one.
So, did we decide about the number? Are we doing 32?
Yes, 32.
Okay.
I'm good with 32.
32?
Do you want to stick them to 32, nuts on 32?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's close enough.
I mean,
Sorry.
he's already, we're giving him a lot, 32 and just 50.
On TV, you know.
You know.
All right, so I will make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a variance to section 300.d for the front setback to allow a 32-foot encroachment into the 50 feet setback with the stipulation that there will be no parking in the front of the building on the Colby Road side and no access from Colby Road into the front of the building. Except for emergency vehicles only.
That's everywhere, right?
Okay,
They're so close now.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
5-0.
So,
Thank you very much.
all three of those are good, you know, you got a 30-day wait period.
Yes, I do.
After that, you should be good to go, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. We're gonna miss you. We're leaving us now.
So I'm gonna officially recuse myself and then X.
Yep. Do we wait till he
You gonna jump into the crowd?
No. I think she's
Can't-
leaving.
When you recuse yourself, you can't go into the crowd and support it, now, can you?
No,
can.
I'm actually leaving. People don't know
I
me.
think you can.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, you can go in there.
Go in where?
Support her again. If you recuse yourself.
She's one of the
Shall we read it in first?
Yep, I can do that.
I got a whole nother, so we're gonna go number 3 first. There's a two-part to this, but it's actually 2 separate cases, 2 separate fees, 2 separate mailings, a butter list, everything. I think that's upside down. Yep, and this goes into the other folder. Where'd the other folder go?
I don't have the
Well,
other
just
folder.
to give you an idea, this is one of
Oh,
those.
I got it.
There's 2 of this, there's 2 of that, because it's the best, simplest solution. Make sure we get both sides. case is just old.
All right, this is case number 2017-3. Name of applicant Roy and Dale Auraria. Address 40 Louise Drive, Litchfield, New Hampshire. The owner is the same. Location of the property is 40 Louise Drive, map 5, lot 86. Description of the property is a multi-family residential lot with 217.40 feet of frontage along Louise Drive and a depth of 192 feet, containing 41,471 square feet. This is an application for a variance from section 300.A of the zoning ordinance to permit an area of 39,821 square feet, where 92,120 square feet is required. The present use is a 4-family unit dwelling. The use as a 4-family unit was grandfathered as it was built in the 1960s, which predates zoning. We are proposing a lot line adjustment with map 5, lot 75, in order to have all existing buildings within their boundary limits. For this to occur, we need to reduce the existing area of map 5, lot 86, from 41,741 square feet to 39,821 square feet, a difference of 1,920 square feet. That's the first one.
That's it. The other one's a whole nother case.
The same property?
No, they're interrelated.
Okay, so,
So we'll read this one. You recuse yourself and then.
so, now, yeah, note for the record that I am recusing myself from this case.
Yes, so before we proceed, I must also note that I was expecting another member of the board to fill in for Laura, because she had told me she wasn't gonna be here. That person has not showed up yet, and since it's already 8 o'clock, just about, I'm not expecting him. So you have 4. Do I need him to sign the waiver?
If you have
Yeah,
it.
where, do we have that waiver?
Or just, he can just note it for the record if he's fine with that, but it's nice to have him sign.
All right, let's note for the record then that, the applicant has agreed to a 4-member board.
That's you?
As opposed to 3. I know I have those, but they're gonna be in my bin back in the office, back at the cabinet, so.
Which one do you want? I'll give you.
Okay. We got it in the record, I think we're okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's that.
You want?
I made a copy. I made a copy.
Thanks, Laura. Okay, come on up and, state your name.
Hey, my name is Pete Weeks. I'm employed with TF Bernier in Concord, New Hampshire, and I'm here in front of the board to request 2 different variances, but I'll go with the first. We're proposing a lot line adjustment with lot 86, owned by Roy and Dale Herrera, and also map 5, lot 75, owned by Parkland Cooperative, Parkland Estate Cooperative. And in order to do the lot line adjustment, we're moving the lot line over 10 feet, which will reduce the size, the area of lot 86. So in order to do that, we obviously have to request a variance. And that's pretty much it.
All right, any other questions for that before we start going through the criteria?
No.
And just add, the main reason we're doing this, obviously, is some of the mobile homes are over the property line. So in order to make them all existing onto lot 75, we have to move that line over.
So-
We moved it 10 feet.
You guys get that?
Well, you guys are nice.
Yeah.
So the, what I'm looking at is this, I guess, that's
Yeah,
so that line is, where's the existing line now?
it's right
Kind of
there.
dash there.
The new boundary line?
I got the red pen, I'll show you.
Oh, the existing one. There's the existing one right there.
The existing one is right here,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They're moving it 10 feet this way, okay?
What's this about?
This right here is a jog at this property line here, which comes down into this area here. There's a jog in there. These sheds are being moved.
This is a joint meeting between all two things. I just want to say to the chair, there's two things occurring here.
Yeah, but, you know, obviously you wouldn't wanna,
Saying-
you wouldn't wanna move forward with, well, probably not, can't move forward with the second one if you don't get the first one, so we have to let the first shoe drop.
Maybe a little bit.
So these are two different owners, right? Property
Correct,
owners.
yeah, correct.
And you've made an agreement that you're gonna move the property line.
They're all here.
Bada bing. Okay. Okay. So in section 2 here, request for variance. Variance will not be contrary to the public interest because the purpose is to solve the boundary issue that has been around for years. Granting this variance will increase property values and add aesthetics and appearance to both lots. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because of the proposed variance allows for improvement for the Arias lot as well as map 5 lot 75. There will no longer be encroachment of existing mobile homes. Substantial justice is done because the location of the proposed boundary line between lot 86 and 75 will produce the existing mobile homes to be within the limits of Parkland Estate cooperative boundaries. Proposed use is consistent with the area's present use and does not alter the character of the area. The values of surrounding properties are not diminished because there would be no further encroachment onto lot 86 if this variance is granted. It would improve the value of the property and would have a positive aesthetic value to the property as well. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship because we feel there is no reasonable alternative besides having to move mobile homes that is encroaching, which would be a monumental task. Granting this variance will result in a much better situation. That's it. Avoiding unnecessary hardship.
Yeah, it is. He's saying it's the best definition of avoiding unnecessary hardship that we've heard in a long time. Yeah, and really the only place to get that kind of relief is here.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
No, I don't.
Any questions, Greg? You're always good for a couple.
Well, is the owner of this property?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you have no issue with this, huh?
Oh, owner of the other property you're referring
The
to.
86, property 86, that's the one that's
That's
getting
Mr.
reduced.
Okay, gotcha. Any other questions? I'll open it
Well, let
up
me
to
think
public.
about this, so, also, all of these mobile homes they're like.
Sliced. Not all of them, but I think there was.
They're like right on the lines.
Yeah.
So are there setbacks requirements on mobile homes?
Back in the day, nope.
No, now.
Yeah.
We'll
why
be
you get
dealing
to-
with that next.
Yeah.
So is that 10 feet gonna?
It may be.
No, you can't, no, this is a mutual agreement to make it better.
Right.
Okay? Making it 20 feet. This is making it better. These are pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
If something was gonna be placed there, yes, it would have to be 20 feet.
Yeah, by granting, if we were to grant this, it doesn't necessarily give them more space to build anything.
Does not, nope.
You
They
can't.
can't build
What
it.
it does is try to just resolve an issue where you've got property
Still 20 feet
that
though, right?
resides on one lot that's actually sitting in another lot as it's defined today.
So the stipulations on the next, without talking about the next deal, would address the fact that it's accommodating these.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If somebody comes in and wants to replace the unit,
Yeah.
I would have to send them to the zoning board, because they'd be taking the old unit out, which is vested, putting something else in,
Yeah.
different subject matter.
Got it.
Yeah, that becomes a
Okay?
grandfather
So
issue.
nothing's moving or,
Nothing
other than
moving.
a few sheds are moving, but.
Yeah, the sheds is gone.
So, but just for my curiosity, it's now, it should be 20 feet.
Should
New.
be, if new, if anything new is 20 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like a
Okay?
house.
Yeah.
Sheds don't actually count towards setbacks though, do they, Kevin?
Sheds are 10 feet off the line now.
10 feet, yeah. Any other
I'm good.
questions?
I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna open up for public input on this particular case. Do we have any public input on this request?
Any dissenting votes? Let's put that first.
Jesus,
Okay.
we have all this public and they don't want to say anything.
Just make our lives easier.
Please, it would.
We're all asking this.
All right,
We're all in favor of it, and the owner of the property is okay with it, so.
Haven't had one of those in a long time.
No.
all right, so then having no further public input, I will close, or do I have a motion to close?
Motion to close, public input.
Do I have a second? A second from Eric. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any deliberation?
So do we have enough information for all those 5 cases you've, the 5?
The
Five
five.
criteria? Yes.
Okay.
They did a nice
It's
job
pretty clear.
putting it in writing for us,
Pretty clear.
as he's explained it, yes. So the question is,
What was the hardship?
Is the fact that this is, we've treated.
Pre-existing.
Well, it's pre-existing, but the hardship is there's no reasonable alternative besides having
to move.
to move
mobile
each
homes.
mobile home that is encroaching, which would be a monumental task.
That's
Monumental.
a good way to avoid.
Oh, no, it would be
Hardship.
mountains.
Well, actually,
wise.
you'd be going into the street because they're long enough.
Yeah.
So you're causing a different problem.
Whole separate issue.
They call it sawzall.
Yeah.
Trim them off.
There's no room.
Yeah.
This, I may say that this has been going on for approximately over a year and a half now, between everybody trying to figure out what, because the owner association the owners bought the park from a outside person, it was a rental type thing. These people own the park now, they are part of the owners, they're trying to make it better. Makes a big difference when park is owned by them, it makes a wonderful difference.
I'm surprised it didn't come up in the owner, in that transfer of ownership.
It did.
I don't think they had the solution at the time.
It did, but we all weren't sitting on the board.
Board's here.
So, I don't have the detail, otherwise I'd make a motion, but,
The
so we're
variance-
reducing the size of, basically the variance is to reduce, now,
The area,
those lots are all supposed to be
So they'll
acre,
take it out of
in
there.
today's building, they should all be
it's not
acre.
even a permitted use there.
Currently, I mean, there's existing lot 86. It's not big enough for,
Not even bigger for what's supposed to be there now, or what we zoned in now.
yeah, so now we're making it smaller.
Right, and it won't hurt anything.
So, the person at 7 Louise Drive is that person here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And I guess you don't have any problem with this, huh?
On the other side.
Okay. Why did I ask that? There was a reason.
Well, there was already public input, nobody.
No, I know, I'm just making, I didn't know, these publics, I didn't know who they represent.
We represent Parkland Estates, Mr. and Mrs. Arya. Petersons.
All the abutters that are directly here, just about.
And then we had Ralph Howe, who was in the back corner there, he didn't have an issue. Okay.
We're working up on the, a motion here.
What's the variance
It's
number?
okay. That's
300.
Variance, it should be
300A, was it?
300.00.a,
Which says what?
which essentially, it's the residential,
Yeah,
which, and what we're saying here
the,
is,
Lot size.
the requirement is
oh, gotcha.
1 acre. And they're
Reducing it,
substantially under that.
existing,
What's an acre?
43,560 square feet.
So we'd have to do some math, yeah.
Yeah, so what, the area,
Sorry.
okay, so the area is 39,821 square feet, where 92,120 square feet is required. Right.
92.
So a variance to 300A to allow the lot at map 5, lot 86 to be reduced from,
41.
what is it today?
41,741.
41
to,
to 39,821?
That's
Yeah.
correct, yes.
That's the variance, right?
Yeah, that's the-
So,
Yes.
a variance to section 300.00.a to allow the property at map 5, lot 86 to be reduced from 41,741 square feet to 39,821 square feet. Is that right?
Yeah, because see, I think what happens, they've
We
got the
have to say that.
multifamily residential overlay district,
Yeah.
so then you've got to add another 5,000 square feet to the 1 acre, right?
So it's
Probably how
not,
we
so it's
get
not, well, it is 41,744.
That's the existing size.
That's the existing size.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
But
all we're doing.
currently, it has to be an acre.
So what's the acre requirement again?
Today, it's 43,560 square feet. Back in the day, it wasn't.
It is what it is.
It is what it is,
What's that number, 43,600?
560 square feet.
You know how big an acre is? Come on,
Absolutely
come on.
not. No, I don't.
Jeez.
And we don't require an acre if you go at PRD type development even now today. I'm not
So
saying.
it's already well under the required.
Yeah, it's a reduction.
You're taking more
We're
again.
taking a non-conforming use and making it more non.
It's to further reduce.
It's all you're doing.
Yeah, but there's a good reason for that, it sounds like.
Yes, because of what's happened over the years. Trying to keep everybody on the same side.
Cleans it up.
All right, so you make the motion.
I'm still trying to write it, man.
Doing good.
Where's Laura?
I'll ask again if anybody wants to join this board at the end of the meeting.
Oh, come on.
No, we have
Does it look like we're having
We have
fun?
cookies all the time.
I'm usually the one taking those notes.
Amen. I would
She
take
doesn't
a quarter.
No taking job, no one else.
From,
We got voted in.
I would say we start
how
with.
about this?
It's whatever his
I
new
got it,
number is.
I got it.
Back up from there. Go ahead.
A variance to number to further reduce the property size, square footage at map 5, lot 86 to be from 41,741, where 43,560 is required, to 39,821.
Okay, I can live with that. That says it all.
I second it.
David, say aye.
Rephrase it just to make sure, 'cause somebody's gotta catch this in the minutes.
I have to type it. I'm sorry, I can't
Okay.
read my own writing here. I gotta go do this one.
You can't write?
No, I can't write, I type.
You go with Christian values.
You're frozen here, buddy, why? This is the wrong case, this is the Thoreau case.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll try to read it from it for you if you want.
You want me to write it for you?
No.
You wanna write
I
it?
just need a new page, that's all I need to do.
I got it all in my head, because we're taking a non-conforming use and make it less non-conforming. That's the logic, that's it.
Yeah, that's the logic. But the
Plan
actual,
as
we
presented.
need to make sure that the numbers are here because,
But you can reference the plan that you're using too,
Okay,
because it has to go to
So-
the board for subdivision.
I told you, you can't
that
read
would
it.
be easy.
To make, I like what he just said, the property at that 5.
Lot 86.
Lot 86, less conforming.
Less conforming per plan.
Variance to 300.00.a to further reduce
Lot size.
the property square footage
From 41,
hang on, map 5, lot 86, from
41,741
41,741
to, and then I'll
to
put 39,821,
39,821
where
square feet.
43,560 is required.
43,560 square foot is required, okay.
Yep. That'll do.
Anybody else have any plans?
All right, so I'm making a motion to grant the variance to section 300.00.a to further reduce the property square footage at map 5, lot 86 from 41,741 square feet to 39,821 square feet, where 43,560 square feet is now required. Is currently required. Yeah?
Yep,
Second.
we have a motion, I seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries 4-0. So that part is approved. Nothing easy.
Are we putting all this away? Now we got it.
We have a whole nother folder.
Another one. Same plan?
Same
Okay.
plan.
Same plan.
Yeah, but I think it's all in that next one too.
It's the same plan.
It's okay. Oh, I knew what I did. I split the plans amongst the two folders, just to make sure I had some in both. Which is good, because they've gotta go on file anyways. Yes. I have them both. Sounds good. My docs? Here it is.
This is 3, right?
We haven't had any for a few years.
Well, I can take a lot of that right from the application. if you
Agreed,
want.
agreed. I just want to get my notes there, that's all.
Okay. You're sticking it in my folder. Good. Okay, this goes with this.
So this is -2 or -4?
2017-04.
You know what we gotta have? More queued up.
No.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay?
Here's that note.
That goes in here.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. You're up, again.
Okay, I'll just be pretty brief on the second part, and this deals with Lot 75, Parkland Estate Cooperative, which is this, the bigger lot here. So what we're doing is we're proposing, as mentioned before, we're moving the lot line over 10 feet to make all the mobile homes and as many sheds as we could get onto the property. And in order to do that, it does not meet the 20-foot side yard setback. So we requesting the variance. I kind of did a little detail down here. In the worst scenario of one of the sheds is 3.1, and the other one is 11.8 is the best scenario. So we're asking for a waiver of 3.1 to 11.8 feet from the setback, where 20 feet is required. Does that make sense? Okay.
So, yeah, currently required, like we were talking earlier, it's 20 feet, and you're just looking for a variance to that 20-foot setback.
That's correct.
And it's for these, it's just for these units, not for the rest of the facility.
Correct, it's just dealing with the property line that abuts Lot 86, that is correct.
Because I noticed down below, there are ones that, I even see one that's right, looks like it's right on the boundary.
Yes, yes. And I think it was mentioned earlier, I think Mr. Howe was also approached.
Yeah.
He was here earlier about maybe doing a lot line, doing it all together, but I guess he wasn't in favor of doing that, so. But the errors were. So we're cleaning up part of it.
And, okay. Proceed.
Okay, you can go
Okay.
through the different criteria, please.
All right. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest because The purpose of this variance is to have those mobile homes encroaching to be within the subject parcel boundaries, therefore increasing the property value. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the property will not be affecting the health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Substantial justice is done because the proposed use is consistent with the area's present use and does not alter the character of the area and conforms to the community. The values of surrounding properties are not diminished because the current use of the property will remain the same, not diminishing any property values. There will be no changes to the existing property. And number 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship because, and I kind of use the same term, monumental task. The existing mobile homes have been encroaching for many years, and the granting of this variance will resolve the condition that presently exists. Having to move the homes would be a monumental task. Plus, there's no room.
So let me ask you this, we've got a range where some properties are literally gonna be 3.1 feet where 20 foot is required,
Yes.
and some best case, so that's a worst case scenario, best case scenario of a non-conforming would be 11.8 where 20 feet is required. So I'm struggling a little bit with how to create a, right, because if I were to say, hey, you can all be 3.1, then some of those
No.
can get bigger or
I
something,
think that
right?
we build into the stipulations.
It has to be per plan.
That, exactly, that per mobile home unit, I suspect that unit is that number is in perpetuity with that particular spot, right?
That's correct, yes.
So, no mobile home may be any closer, the existing mobile home cannot be moved any closer or made any closer than what's been described here.
Right.
And any new,
Cannot encroach anymore.
yeah,
The variance
no,
goes-
it has to be
goes
20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to at that point.
It all depends on a lot of factors, but the best thing to do here is refer to the plan, because it's not because I will defer to the plan as a zoning guy or a building guy.
Yeah, right.
Refer to the plan right off the bat. The survey shows we can't encroach anymore on this, and we're gonna make it better. Whatever we do, we make it better.
Okay.
Right.
So,
And just for the record, that's Kevin Lentz, code enforcement officer speaking. I don't
So-
think there's a camera on you. Go ahead. I made you lose your thought.
no, so a variance is forever.
Variance sticks to the land forever.
So in the future, when they want to replace this mobile home, they would have to go by this plan.
So we have to always go by the plan.
Oh,
So that throws out the 20 foot there.
Not
Yeah.
exactly, okay, because some of the sheds and some of the buildings we're talking about are portable structures, they're not all trailers, okay?
Yeah.
So, the units itself, they're gonna have to be fixtured, they're there, they're not gonna go anywhere. Most cases, the leach fields are right there too, okay? Because because it's so jammed in, you can't go one way or the other, it's there, you can't even go wider. Okay, because you'll be on top of the tanks and stuff like that, or the services will be in a way, the electrical, it's all fixed. These units are in good shape that are there in this area, except for maybe one, okay? But, they're pretty good. We just gotta work on with that guy in the green shirt all the time. Oh, I pick on him. But everything's good. You can't change
I
it.
just want to make sure I understand the numbers again on the request. The 3.1 is actually the distance from the line to the structure, or is that just or is there 16.9, and you're only looking for 3.1 variance?
Yeah, it's the actual distance from the
Okay.
structure to
All
the
right, so in
new.
that case, the variance, that would be 16.9 is what they're seeking relief for,
No, I see what
essentially.
you're saying.
Okay.
You look at it that
All
way,
right.
you look at
Okay,
it.
so-
Yeah, so what's the, that is so it's given 3.1 feet or 11.8 feet, it's gonna be, 11.8 minus 20 is what?
Well, that one would wind up being 8.2.
8.2,
And
8.2,
then
this one is gonna be
anything from
16.9.
16.9.
So between
Okay.
8.2 and 16.9
You're reversing the
variance.
numbers. It's all-
Yes.
You're reversing the reading of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
And then we certainly would have to make a reference to the plan.
yeah.
So now we got one shed that's shown on this plan as being over the new property line, how is that gonna be handled?
We're
That's
working
gonna-
on removing some of those.
Yeah, that'll have to be dealt with as far as either,
Yeah.
probably have to be moved.
Is that the same with the canvas carport as well?
Correct.
So, move to where?
Onto the land where they gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving them variances for, all of these other
The
things.
variances are for the actual mobile homes, not the sheds. We're not really talking about sheds. I don't
Sheds,
believe.
well, try to move them back off now.
Well, then
A lot of them fall
well,
down.
but you got the shed here, it's a 3.1 feet. So we're not giving them,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
so we're giving them the variance only for the mobile homes?
So then it's not 3.1 feet that we care about.
No, you're right. I'm
You're,
wrong.
you're getting it for the shed
I'm wrong.
and the mold, and these are being moved.
Yep.
Okay?
But I wanna know where these are being,
They're gonna be moved back into here,
Into some place within, well, they're gonna have to be moved in here.
or they're gonna take them out completely.
well, but I don't want to, I mean, if we
They're
say,
also- They're also sheds.
Right, they're just sheds, they're gonna come and go.
So as long as they come on this side of the property line, under the
If I'm
property
10
line,
feet, I can get them right in this area here and make it work, I'm 10 feet off.
is that this property or that property? The car,
10 feet off
that
this
carport goes this way.
line.
That's, carport is the other, that, isn't this
I mean-
who owns the carport? This guy?
Could you,
they do, so this moves over to their side as well.
Oh,
So that's gotta go
oh,
here.
wow, he's way over, okay.
Okay?
But, okay, so
This
I'm
is-
trying to think of how we would word the variance.
Yeah, it might have to
So
be
the
a
sheds would
stipulation.
be in the right place.
Refer to the plan is the best way, and refer to this section, detail
But the plan
B.
shows that's on property line.
Yeah.
Those are being relocated.
I see what Greg is saying, though. We need to somehow say that if they're gonna be relocated, are we saying they can be relocated within the envelope, or are we gonna say it has to be relocated within 10 feet, or
10
whatever?
feet, you say
you know?
10 feet.
Okay,
I have to say 10.
So the sheds that are so the sheds that are currently
on,
over the line,
yeah, on or over, yeah.
No,
that would
no
have to be
closer
moved.
than.
Right.
No
No
closer than 10 feet. Or that would be a stipulation, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, we can
You
make
could-
that a stipulation.
Let me see if I can write this one up. Well,
that makes sense.
No, I wanna go into
Stipulation.
public input
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this
yeah.
point. Any more questions for the applicant?
I want to stop first.
Do we have any public input, either in favor or against? May you please state your name?
Just a comment. It seems like if these lots are individually owned, you ought to be dealing with them individually.
I think it's owned by an association, right?
Yeah, it's owned by a cooperative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not personally.
Yeah, that's the one application or the applicant that submitted it. And again, I need your name, please, and address.
Seven Louis Drive.
7 Louise Drive, thank you.
I gotta plug in for a power source, what the heck?
Oh, I thought that power strip was on. It's right down in front, Greg, if you don't. And I'm sorry, I know there was somebody else behind you.
Roxanne Hilson, 6 Standish Circle.
Thank
I
you.
just want to make sure that the stipulation is put in that it's only on that side.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because it says on here, like side and rear setback, so I just want to make sure it's not.
I get you. Well, certainly by throwing in the
on
per,
other side of it.
by throwing in the per plan, then that's exactly what it does tie into, is I can show you the map if you like. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see the maps.
I'd like to see them.
Okay.
You wanna go ahead and look at that one over there?
There's one right here if you want to go close to, or there's one right there.
No, I'd like to have a little copy.
Yeah, you can have that one, actually. It's an extra one that I had.
That's why I don't have two.
And then, could you please state your name and address?
General Trahan, 4 House Lane.
Which, is it on the map at all?
This,
Okay.
way over there. So what is being
Yes,
moved
that's
and
it.
what's not being moved?
Might
Is
be,
it all in what areas are we talking about?
Right here,
All, okay.
yeah. That's the.
yeah, and it might be easier to open up your map because it's a little bigger. So the only thing that would move, yeah,
Over here, right?
That's
Like
correct.
These
We're
here.
all here, right
So
here.
I'm over here, so I don't have to worry about anything else.
Nothing's changing.
What's
over
this
there.
thing right here?
It's a rebuilding or something. What is it? Shed.
Yeah, yes, no?
So I've really got a
Sides are gonna move.
What you do?
I'm good.
Sides are gonna move.
got it.
Light dead.
No, I got it. Well, I'm back up again.
Green light.
You computer guys are all like.
How many engineers does it take to plug it up?
You got two of them there. Any additional public input? All right, we have no additional public input right now.
If the, I have a question.
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
I have a question.
Name and address, please.
Glenn Hilson, 6 Standish Circle.
Thank you.
If the variance is granted, doesn't remove the setbacks to 18 feet for a mobile home instead of 20 feet? When another one gets moved in the park, it's not gonna have that same variance?
No, because what we're doing is tying it to the plan. So what we've done, what he's done, and again, it's a little easier.
But they're not moving any mobile homes here,
Correct.
so.
The structures we were talking about, so what they've done is they've asked for variances for structures that are currently off of that side, off of that lot line, but don't meet the 20-foot, okay? When we started talking about moving sheds, because those sheds literally are on the lot line. So they have to move.
Is there a number of structures in the plan? How many we're talking about? Is there 5? Is there 6? Is there
1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 4 mobile homes. And 1, 2, well, 2 sheds and the carport.
And those are the only units?
That would be, that's what's on the, that's what's on the plan, and that's what we intend to have the variance reference to. It's none of the other park, the mobile homes in the park.
This is an old park.
Yeah, because
You know, one got snuck in, really, on our side.
Building code's here in time, if it's less than 100 square feet, you don't need a building permit, but you're gonna meet certain requirements still. Okay, so, back in the day, everybody put up sheds. Okay, it's all over.
Oh, you were referring to a shed? Getting,
And a mobile home was moved in, a new one.
A new one got moved in, it was like 3 feet or 4 feet longer.
How long ago was that?
It was about 20 years ago, came down here and they said, well, we're not gonna make them move it, so.
Right
It was
across the
before you.
street from me.
Okay.
It's not mine.
I
it's
know it's not
across
yours,
the
so
street.
yeah.
Okay, as long as it's those units.
It's in the middle of the lot.
I
Okay.
knew more about that, I wasn't here, so I couldn't tell you.
do we have any other questions or any additional public input? I have no public input at this point.
no more.
Any motions?
I'll make the motion, we close public input.
Seconded? Seconded by Eric Cushing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. John is working on a motion, I believe.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good, well, relax.
Oh,
Have a cookie.
not that one.
One cookie?
We need,
No thanks, Colonel.
Cookie?
Is that bribery?
we need,
They're good.
we need, what's that music on Jeopardy there? We need that kind of music on Jeopardy. Thank you.
Numbers 12, 9, 10, 11, and 12, right?
Are you
What do
gonna
you
put a
want, Harry?
stipulation in about not being able to build?
12.
1, 10,
Yeah,
11, 12.
anything new, or even, if they tear down and build new, then they get stuck dealing with the new regs anyways. So they'd be in front of us.
Yeah, because they can't put it's gonna be impossible to locate a new home there. Unless it's like my iPod, they could do that.
Okay, so I have you want to
I'll
collaborate?
take a
little bit?
motion.
Well, I'm not ready for the motion. I want to read this first.
All right, let's hear it.
It's a proposed motion.
All right, so we're talking.
Grant the applicant a variance to 300.00.a to allow the properties that abut Lot 86, mobile home numbers 9, 10, 11, and 12, a setback variance from between 8.2 feet and 16.1 feet. See the plan and stipulations below, where 20 feet is required.
Second.
And then we need, to make a reference to the sheds that have to move, right?
Yes.
We can do that as a stipulation.
That's stipulation, right. So is it just those two, just the shed and the carport that have to
I
be
believe
physically
so.
moved?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those two structures. So if we want to vote on the first motion, we probably could do that, and then we could do a stipulation after.
I would just, okay, here's my proposal.
Yeah.
Any shed that's over or on the boundary must be moved back.
Any shed or structures, right? Any structures.
Any structure that's on or over the boundary must be moved back at least 10 feet from the boundary.
The property boundary must be.
From the new property line.
From the new property.
No closer.
That's another one. Oh, by itself.
Yeah, not the old one, the new one.
Feet.
He can go tell him.
From the new boundary.
Nicer coming from you than from me.
Well, that's a good point. I'm sure all your numbers are based on the new property line.
Yeah.
That's already been approved. That's the new boundary.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably on our boundary must be moved
Just understand you say it nice.
no closer than 10 feet from the property
Yeah,
line.
and if you can, say any structures, whatever, on the plan, per plan, or something like that. Again, just sign it back to the plan.
Any structures as described on the plan today.
Correct. That or on or over the boundary, exactly the way you did it. I think we'll be good with that one.
Are these, or is it, they're just talking here where his property is?
Just up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, those might not even be affected because the lot line moved, right?
So you said structures.
Oh.
I don't know.
Any structures as described in the plan. Structures described on the plan today that are on
It's awful nice of him to get land.
less than 10 feet from the property
A
line.
little example, too much detail can be very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what got us into that today. All right, I'm ready to make a motion.
Let's hear it.
Grant the applicant a variance to 300.00.a to allow the properties that abut lot 86, parentheses, mobile home numbers 9, 10, 11, and 12, end parentheses, a setback variance from between 8.2 feet and 16.1 feet, parentheses, see the plan and stipulations below, end parentheses, where 20 feet is required by the LZO.
Are they properties or structures? Does it matter?
Structures.
Structures, yeah.
All the structures.
Yeah, okay, that's better.
So you're going to deny that motion?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna call it to a vote.
Okay, good. I'll retract that. All in favor,
Thank
say
you.
aye. Okay.
I haven't been seconded yet.
Grant the applicant a variance to 300.00.a to allow the structures that abut lot 86, mobile home numbers 9, 10, 11, and 12, a setback variance from between 8.2 feet and 16.1 feet. See the plan and stipulations below, where 20 feet is required by the LZO.
All right, that's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Eric. All those in favor say aye.
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 We have to put a stipulation in there?
Now, stipulations. Any structures described in the plan today that are on or over the property boundary must be moved to be no closer than 10 feet from the property line.
That's a good stipulation. Do we have to vote on that?
No.
I didn't think so.
There were no other stipulations?
None that I recall.
We addressed all their concerns
Are we?
in that write-up somehow?
Okay, I'll vote the monumental task.
Nice try. All right, so we have approved that request with the stipulation on the structures, which appear to be one shed and one carport.
Correct. And I didn't specify it's
as
any
described on the
structure.
plan. It's
Yeah.
a canvas carport, I guess.
Yeah.
So those need to be moved, and we're asking you to move them a minimum of 10 feet off of the property line, which, as you pointed out, it will be a new property line, but we got that.
He's gonna go tell him.
So you're good
Good.
at this
That sounds
point.
good. Thank you.
All right.
So we're looking for new members of the zoning board. Is there anybody out there? Don't leave yet. We gotta get-
Up north, no,
You take a cookie and go.
Thank you.
We're just gonna come to the office, right? Gee, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
time.
guys.
I make a motion that we adjourn the,
We need to write up, you wanna write this up, or you wanna put them together, or what?
I'll write them up.
Okay,
I have probably more time on my hands than you do.
okay.
What do you like that?
do I make a motion?
Yeah.
Do I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting?
I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.